Hey there, everybody. I'm Dieter Kurtenbach. This is Oracle Arena. And from the Warriors' perspective, Game 3 was really, really bad. Warriors lose 123-109. They are now down 2-1 in the NBA Finals. After Game 3, I got three things, as per usual, to talk about. Let's start with the good news. Stephen Curry was very, very good at basketball tonight. He was pretty much the only guy on the Warriors who was really, really good at basketball. 47 points in 43 minutes for Wardell. 14 of 34 from the floor, 6 of 14 shooting, 13 from 14 from the line. They were great numbers. He single-handedly gave the Warriors a chance in this game against a defense that was coming at him from all directions. I do not want to hear people say stuff like Stephen Curry is not one of the best players in the NBA, that he's not in that conversation, because you finally saw what it would look like if he had some of those weak supporting casts that you give so many of these other stars credit for winning with. Yes, the Warriors did not win, but that was not Stephen Curry's fault, not in any way, shape, or form. 47 points again, the only guy giving the Warriors a chance. The supporting cast around him simply did not get the job done, and this is challenging. The Warriors were without Klay Thompson in this game. They held him out for precautionary reasons. They didn't think that he should go in a series that could go 7 games. They want to make sure he's around for games 4 through 7. So they kept him off the court. He's got a hamstring injury. That was going to be really tough for him to play on. The thought is that he will play on Friday. The Warriors also had Kevin Durant out for this game. The thought is that he might be able to play on Friday. He has a calf injury that's kept him out for over a month now, or just about a month now. This might have been a lose the battle to win the war situation for the Warriors, but they are now in a situation where they absolutely have to win the battle on Friday. Going down 3-1 to this Toronto Raptors team is not a recipe for success, even if you do get Kevin Durant back, even if you do get Klay Thompson back, even if those guys come back at 110%, better than they've ever played before. This Raptors team is absolutely good enough to get 1 out of 3, especially with 2 home games in that stretch against these Warriors. So, a lot of credit to Stephen Curry, but let's go to the second point here. Shame on all the other Warriors. They did not give Stephen Curry any help. And this happened on both sides of the court. Offensively, it was rough going. Draymond Green not giving the Warriors enough. He was their second leading scorer with 17, but so many of those points came late when the game was pretty much out of hand. Andre Iguodala did some nice things. Quinn Cook did some nice things. Andrew Bogut did some nice things. Not nice enough to where they exceeded anyone's expectations. They performed up to their average, up to the norm. And a lot of other guys did not. And that was the big problem. And the guy we got to focus on here was DeMarcus Cousins. This was DeMarcus Cousins' chance. And I understand that it is a tricky spot for the big man to be in. He just got back into the fold. But again, timing is everything, and this was his opportunity to prove that he is a prime-time player, a guy worthy of the max contract that he was looking for last offseason, that he still wants this upcoming offseason, and he did not take advantage of his opportunity in any way, shape, or form. The Raptors made it very clear from the early goings of this game that they were going to target him on defense, and they didn't even have to run their best play. They just gave the ball to their center, Marc Gasol, and let him eat Cousins' breakfast, lunch, and dinner in this one. And on the offensive end, Cousins went 1 for 7 from the floor. It was unacceptable. I understand the guy is coming off an injury. I understand that he has not gotten his rhythm back, that he has played very little basketball this year. But you have to take advantage of the opportunity when it's presented to you. And there is no universe, no realm, no dimension where DeMarcus Cousins came even close to just playing average in Game 3. And that was a big old reason as to why the Warriors lost this one. They fell behind early in the first quarter. Cousins wasn't able to help the Warriors stave off that second unit malaise that they have experienced so often in this postseason. And by the time Curry came back in the second quarter, the Warriors were at a deficit to 12 points where they never really got back into it. They made a couple of runs at it because Steph's incredible. The Warriors made a little bit of an offensive splash late when the Raptors took their foot off the pedal, but they were never going to be able to make up the difference. The Warriors have scored 109 points in all 3 games in these NBA Finals. Defense is a big reason they lost tonight. Offensively, they were really struggling around Steph Curry. Defense needs to get some criticism as well because they let Toronto basically do whatever they wanted. A lot of this has to do with shot luck, don't get me wrong, but ultimately Toronto was getting open shots left and right this entire game, and they knocked them down. Credit to them. They took advantage of their opportunity. The Warriors, bench players, you can just go down the list. The role players, they did not. And this is how the other 28, 29 teams in the NBA live. You got one star and you got a bunch of guys who you just don't know what you're going to get from them on any given night. I should say only 28. Toronto is not one of those teams. Toronto has some really good players, and if you didn't take them seriously before Game 3, I don't know why you wouldn't have, but let's just pretend that you didn't. You thought Game 1 was a fluke. You should absolutely be taking them seriously now. Third thing, let's talk about the Klay and KD situation. I said that there is an expectation. Maybe that's just a deep-seated hope amongst the Warriors that they come back for Game 4. At this point, it looks like they're going to have to. And it doesn't matter if they're at 60, 70, 80%. They're going to have to be on the floor because the Warriors spacing without two guys who can knock down a shot on the perimeter. And listen, Andre Iguodala had a nice game, but he's not that guy. Quinn Cook had a nice game, but he's not that guy. He is a liability on defense. DeMarcus Cousins might be that guy, but I don't know if he's going to play in Game 4. It looked like he tweaked something late in the game as well. Not all that surprising considering the workload he's been under since coming back from his calf injury, but nevertheless, or calf injury. The Warriors just need some dudes who can put the ball in the basket and hope that Draymond Green can push their defense to a level high enough to where they can make up for some of those liabilities in cutting and moving around laterally on the floor on the defensive end. It will be really interesting to see what the Warriors have to say at practice on Thursday. I would imagine that both KD and Klay are close to game time decisions. We probably will not find out if they play until Friday, or maybe right up into the starting lineup, much like Klay was kind of in a state of mystery right up until the starting lineups were released here tonight. The Warriors, I don't think, have been in a position quite like this. They've been in tough spots, don't get me wrong. Worst of them all, 3-1 down in the Western Conference Finals in 2016. But that team had all hands on deck. That team, even with an injured but playing Stephen Curry, felt like they still had the magic in them a little bit. This team absolutely still has the ability to get to that level, but they got to summon it, and they got to find it somewhere deep inside them, and that is not something I would put past them. But boy, if they don't have the dudes, and ultimately it comes down to who just has the dudes on the court, if they don't have them, it's going to be really hard to see the Warriors coming back from this. It all pivots on Friday. If the Warriors lose that game again, I have a very hard time seeing them win a championship this year. If they win it, game on. We got 3 games, and they're going to be fun as hell, most likely. Boy, this is the good stuff, folks. I don't know if you expected a cakewalk. I thought this one would be tight. I didn't think it'd be this tight. I didn't think it'd be this fun. I didn't think it'd be this weird. But we got something peculiar happening. We got a finals that could go down as an all-time great. You're going to want to stick with us. We will talk to you after Game 4 Friday night here at Oracle Arena. Thanks for watching.